I'm Elizabeth, and thanks for joining us on our first ever episode. We're going to first introduce ourselves a little bit further, tell you a little bit about how we got started knitting, just to give you some background info. So, Melissa, why don't you start?
Okay. I have been knitting. I'm originally from Minnesota, so I have been knitting.
Note the accent. Sorry.
My daughter picks on me all the time. So, I have an almost 18-year-old and an almost 14-year-old, and when my 18-year-old was 2, that's when I started knitting. So one Christmas, my mom was like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know why, but I really want to start knitting." So I've been knitting for 16 years. It's a long time.
It's a long time.
So, and then this is the Soldana cup.
Super cute.
Everybody has been making them because they're so fun and so fast. So
Cute sweater.
Carrie?
I'm Carrie. I am, if you've ever watched Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast, I'm from over there, and I've been knitting for probably, I guess, almost 11 years now. When I became a grandmother, my oldest grandchild is 11, Celeste, and that's when I started knitting, and I started a Stitch and Bitch in San Antonio, which is how we met each other, and I started that in '09, I think, so yeah. It's about 11 years. And I'm wearing all cotton. It's Karen Cotton Cakes. It's just called the knitted top-down pullover sweater or something like
Super
that.
cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really love it, and it's perfect for this Texas heat.
Yeah, 106 today, so perfect for
Yeah.
today. So I'm Elizabeth, as I said, and I've been knitting probably, I don't know, maybe cumulative 25 years or so.
A long time.
I started way back in grade school, and I think I started actually needlepoint and embroidery when I was like 5 years old. So I've always had it in me, and then I sew and got into quilting and stuff like that. But seriously started knitting probably when I moved to Texas and met up with Carrie and Melissa and joined the Stitch and Bitch group in Texas,
I knew
in
her.
San Antonio.
I knew her before she had a little stash.
Yeah, let's talk about that. When I moved to Texas, I came with zero stash.
Zero stash.
And probably my first 9 to 10 months, I had zero stash. And I was a monogamous knitter. And then
No more.
the junkie, the dealer, as we like to call
That's
her,
me.
got
Come
me
on,
hooked.
I'll hook you up. Let's go.
And now I have a room of yarn. So,
She does. An
beautiful.
entire room.
yeah. So, and maybe one day we'll podcast from my house and you'll get to see all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
sure.
kind of what we hope for. And I'm wearing a ranunculus. This is the second one that I knit, and it's out of a classic elite yarn, which is no longer available, unfortunately. And it's a cotton linen blend.
It's
Super
really
cute.
pretty. It's
Yeah.
a good color on you too.
Thank you.
So,
I enjoyed knitting it.
Clearly, if you may too.
And I have a third on the needles.
okay, I guess let's get into
Whips.
I don't know. Okay, so where to start? So I needed something boring and something easy and TV watching because we were watching Yellowstone and cowboys. So this is just, I was planning on just knitting a plain tube. This was like the only thing caked up in my stash right now. So I'm using my circulars, and then I'm just gonna knit a huge tube and then cut them in half.
What
And
yarn
then
is it?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
Someone gave it to me for free, so I'm
Wow.
just using old stuff. So
It's beautiful.
fun.
I love the
Thank you.
colors.
And then I have a matching sweater. I don't know how I did that, but I'm
Matching to
working.
the socks?
Yeah, they
Oh, nice.
almost perfectly match.
Nice.
I have
Oh, it's your weekender.
my weekend.
Oh,
We
Yeah.
saw it. We all went to a lake house retreat a few weeks ago and got to see her cast it on.
I don't know if anybody knows about this pattern.
Because there's hardly any on Ravelry.
Yes, nobody has made these. So this
You're
is
such a trendsetter.
right. So this is the Weekender by a small designer.
You may have never heard of her.
Might have
Name's
heard of
Andrea Mowry.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm using Malabrigo Rios. I've never really used this yarn before, but it is pretty amazing.
It is pretty
This is called Sandstorm. So, so So this is
God, it looks great.
it.
You were flying
So-
on that.
Really.
So it's knit inside out. So I got
So
one
perfect.
side done. It's made like
Yeah.
where you flip it right side out.
Oh,
So it has like the
that
seam.
line. Yeah.
What's that called? Reverse garter? No, reverse stockinette.
Yeah. So and then these are slip stitches because nobody's ever made this before, so we have to.
So there, that's the right way.
Yes.
It's a great sweater for Texas because
It really
in the
is.
winter, just layer it with another top, and a lot of times you don't even need a jacket. Throw a shawl on with it, and
I
just
love
out the
these
door.
needles. Do you like these needles?
I do. They're pretty good for wood needles. I know
They're the likey, right?
Yep. They're the likey. Then this is living in my missing brown bag. And I have the little crochet cups. Because I met them one time when I was in Dallas, so it was like a
Oh,
highlight
fun!
That is a
of my
lot of
life.
fun. I didn't even know that.
Maybe I'll have one of my kids insert a picture of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's been fun. I have my short rows done on this side, so I'm just about to do the 3 needle bind off. So like this side's done, and then I have to do the little bind off right here in the beginning. I think I have one more row and then I do it. So, but one thing I kind of learned while doing this is the tubular cast on, and it's pretty nice. And then the
It
bind
is.
off, it's pretty
Some really nice
stretchy,
finish
really
edge.
nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Beautiful
so-
finish edge. Yes.
So I've enjoyed this project. I enjoy working with worsted weight yarn. It's been a while, like things just
Right?
fly off the
Bye-bye.
needle
They
here.
do.
So yeah. So I have nothing else.
Yeah, it really does match very well.
It does.
Cute as
So,
fall.
so I'm just kind of working on those. They're kind of mindless because we had kind of a sad thing happen where we knew it was going to happen, but my mother-in-law passed away. She had frontal lobe dementia, so we've had people over, and I kind of just need something mindless, and
Sure.
so yeah,
That's tough.
Surprise.
yeah. So
But at least you had your knitting.
Yeah.
I did.
I know,
Knitting
relax you.
And books, like
Yeah.
reading, just
Uh-huh.
to kind of,
De-stressor.
yeah. So, okay, Karen, how about you?
I think I have like 3 whips. So I'm gonna start with a shawl. I haven't made a shawl in forever.
This is by that same no-name designer.
What was her name again?
Andrea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's really cute.
No, not at all.
No.
It's called Cinnabar. It's her latest.
Oh.
Ooh. Do you want me to use my long
Sure.
arm
Yes,
yarn?
she has long arms. Plus, she's got wheels on her chair.
It's pretty. It has brioche in it, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, love
brioche.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So this is with Mrs. Babs Kiera in the Silk Road colorway. It was one of her like monthly. Remember she did that. She did that quarterly. Now she does like a book club, but before she did like a traveling.
Traveling. Yeah, that
like a
was
traveling
fun.
tour.
That was fun.
So yeah, this was Mrs. Babs Silk Road.
I think you got me hooked on that
I
too.
probably
Just saying. All my problems stem from Carrie.
She should have never met me ever. And so this is made with 2 different weights. So this is a sport weight yarn, and then this is a DK weight yarn, and that's what it calls for, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird when you're knitting it because definitely the DK is a little bit thicker. But this is a yarn that I won on Instagram, and it's called Zalana Remu. It's with possum.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's got 40% brush tail possum.
That's a beautiful color.
So yeah, it's just like a natural. It's called natural, I think. Sorry, Jackson chewed on my dog chewed on the tag. So you'll find like little dog chewing whatever.
I always have cat hair and everything.
So I haven't made a shawl in a long time. I kind of got a little burnt out on shawls, and then kind of went a little bit more to sweaters and blankets and things. But I just saw this and I really wanted to cast it on.
And you
So
have the yarn, so it's
I
perfect.
did. And then I have a blanket. So I actually have 2 blankets. Those are my 2 other whips. And This is a Jimmy Bean's wool. I don't know if you guys have ever purchased from Jimmy Bean's wool, but it's their blanket.
Oh.
It's a year-long blanket thing, so you get a skein of yarn every month with the new part of the pattern. And the whole thing is hedgehog fibers. There was like 2 colors to pick from, so I picked the pinks. Actually, that's the wrong side.
Amazing.
So.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
So the pattern's called like Fishing for Koi, and it's not available yet to purchase unless you know.
Or edging. That's
Yeah, it's
so
an I-cord. It's an
pretty.
I-cord edge where you slip it and you kind of go back and forth, and but they like each.
Who's the designer?
I don't know. It's probably in there somewhere. I don't know. Jimenez Joseph. Yeah.
That's
so,
a cute
So yeah, they give
presentation
you.
of the kit. Right?
Yeah, so each month, so like the first month I probably just got like 1 or 2 cards, and then the next month I got a couple more, whatever. And they have a hole punched in them, and they give you a little thing. And actually, every month when you get these cards, you get both the knit version and the crochet version.
Oh,
Now
nice.
you only get 1 skein of yarn, so you decide whether you're going to knit it or you're going to crochet it. But it's the exact same kits, whether you're a knitter or a crocheter. You get both the things. So then. Last month they gave us more brown to
It's a really
because
dark
it's
brown.
it's
Almost
called
black.
Damned Nation, and if you've never purchased from Jimmy Bean's wool, their customer service is fabulous. So actually they sent me my June or July skein of brown, and it didn't match my first one, and I had already even caked it up, and I kind of noticed once I had caked it up that it was a much lighter brown than this brown. And so I had contacted them, and they sent me the new brown to match this one, and a mailer so I could mail back the other one. I mean, their
Wow,
customer
that's great.
service is phenomenal. And then yesterday, I got August's color. So this is called Dusk. So this will be, I have one more section of white to do. So I did like this artifact, and then this is bramble, and then artifact, I'll have another bramble, and then a section of brown, and then the next will be dusk. So maybe the next time that we podcast, I'll have some of this added on too, but it just came in the mail yesterday, so. You can smell it, you can put it closer if you want. She loves to smell yarn. I'll get my next whip.
You're so pretty.
I love that brown. It's almost black.
It's a very, and all the different colors kind of like, tie together.
Yeah.
My last whip again is another blanket.
That's a cute bag.
Gee, that's an awesome bag.
Made by an awesome granny, perhaps.
Come on, guys, you knew that I was gonna have to do a little bit of that, right?
We love you, Darlene.
Love you, darling. Bags by Awesome Granny. This is the most amazing bag ever. It's the tote. So either a year or 2 ago, our friend Rosanna, who's a crocheter, she lives in Houston, she bought a yarn kit for it was a pretty popular KAL. It's called Havana Afghan. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I remember seeing that boy. Beautiful.
And here, you can hold this one closer. It's probably nicer.
I'm excited to see how far you are on it. Ooh.
So Rosanna
Wow.
didn't like
Even the colors.
Yeah, she didn't like. Well, I didn't pick the color.
I know.
So, but I'm
There's
just
a lot of color for you.
I'm just
Beautiful.
going with it.
Well,
So
that's texture.
Rosanna bought the kit, and then I think a year ago at the lake house, she brought it to me, and she goes, I'm not gonna make this. I think she had like 3 or 4 rows done at the very beginning. And she said to me and Darlene, one of you guys take this and make it. So I took it, and it kind of sat for a while, but I pulled it out last month, and I really started going on it. So I'm on the 3rd section. You can barely see the colors starting to change, but
That's amazing.
she has all the stuff like pre-packaged. So there's week 3. So the purple and gray was week 1. This dark red and yellow was 2. Now I'm on like an eggplant and coral is 3. And then I've got, like more bags. Like here's 5 and 4.
This makes me want to learn to crochet. I mean, I have crocheted in the past, but just
Yeah.
minor little things.
This is a very
makes me want to do more.
a very fun pattern.
Hookers have been coming out with some good crochet patterns lately.
Yeah, so that's.
I love that mosaic look.
And that's exactly kind of what it's like. You're only like, just like in mosaic knitting, it makes it look like you're doing two colors on the same row, but you're really not. You're just knitting with one. It's the same with the crochet. You're just doing one at a time. The difference with this one is that you never turn your work and crochet back on the wrong side. You always crochet from the right side. So that's why there's ends everywhere, because you attach the new row, and then when you get to the end, you cut it off. So there's.
And then will you have to weave all these in?
I don't think so. I
Or-
believe that she has it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that she has it written how to crochet these kind of
okay.
in.
Oh,
I'm sure
like
I'll
edging
end up.
this and stuff.
Yeah, I'll end up, because I have a whole nother set of yarn for the edge. There's like a 2 or 3 inch border that's going to be on here. So I think you just kind of like run it up and fold it. I'm sure I'll have to trim it some. I have to be really careful not to leave the edges too long, because if I run out of yarn, I don't have a way of like purchasing more. It's just like one-time kit that they sold, and I don't even think they have these anymore. I could be wrong, but I'm really enjoying it.
I'm just thinking about all these ends, and here's a dirty little secret. Melissa doesn't weave her ends in.
Why would you say
So I was thinking Melissa would never be able to do this.
Well, one, it's crocheted, and two, when I saw those, I kind of like a mini panic.
Sorry, didn't mean to rat you out.
Oh,
Look at those ends. Look at those
this is not my
ends.
first show. You ratted me out.
Tough love.
All right, go ahead, Elizabeth. That's it. That's all I got for
Okay,
this.
so I have also in a Bags by Awesome Granny, and it's the sushi bag, which when I saw this fabric, I just fell in love with it because I love
It's so
sushi.
cute. It's so cute.
And it makes me happy. So I am knitting also an Andrea Mowry pattern, and it's the Night Shift shawl.
Yeah, we all have an Andrea Mowry pattern. I had no idea.
I know, and it's been modified. This pattern was modified by the ladies at the Knitting Cup in Georgetown, Texas, which is one of our local yarn shops. And yeah, anyway, it's done with the Barocco Medina, and so
wow.
it's real lightweight. It's like a cotton and I have a ball band somewhere in here. Cotton and yeah, it's cotton, acrylic, and viscose. So it's lighter weight than doing a wool
She's
one
slipping away.
for in Texas. I thought it would be good, and I love the color, all the different colors in it.
It's gorgeous. Perfect.
Still a
lightweight for
long way to
Texas.
go, but pretty
Usually,
mindless.
her shawls are very large, but you have a long way to go. But then you're like, I'm gonna be able to wear it because it's not, too small.
So I'm not a huge. I love the color blue, but I don't personally wear blue very often. And so when I started seeing a lot of this blue, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to give this away. But
I
then
volunteered.
then started going more into the grays and the green grays, and that's totally my jam.
That's
So
so-
I think it's gonna be good when it's all finished.
It is. It's gonna be so awesome.
So yeah, so that's been good to knit on when it's been really hot out because it's lightweight. And then so that's that width, and then this is just a bag that I made myself, no name brand.
It looks like you painted it.
I did
Did you
paint
paint
it.
it?
Yes,
That's
I actually used painted leaves and stamped them on there.
Oh, that is so
Wow.
cute. You're
Yeah.
so creative.
Your pins are really cute
Oh.
too.
Suburban Stitcher, who's one of my favorite dyers in the world. She lives in Texas. And then a sloth and a
Do you
llama.
want me to hold it up for
Red
you?
llamas.
Sure.
I'll hold the bag. Just
And then this is just a sweater of no name.
you look like you're losing some stitches here.
Oh, I did. Oh well, it's alright. It's just stuck in it. Just need to get the other little things flipped up.
Is that the linen one? So
Yeah. So
it'll
this
hold.
is one of those bands I forgot. It's I think Barocco.
I don't know. It doesn't say here.
I really like the tan in there.
Oh, I don't
The
know what
tan
it is.
brings
I didn't bring ball
It
bands,
feels
but
linen.
It's half linen and half cotton, and I wanted something stripey and summery, and so I got these on sale at a local yarn shop, and I just kind of striped them and was doing a simple raglan
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
to wear.
Reminds me
It's
of.
the
I just hope I don't look like an Easter egg when I wear it. That's
the
my fear.
construction looks like this one.
Yeah.
And these cotton cakes, they come in self-striping.
Oh.
But Darlene and I both did it in,
Because I'm having a strike.
yeah, in the beige because we didn't want to have to like cut a bunch of yarn to do our sleeves.
Does
So
that
we
mean
just
you're
did
gonna
it.
have ends to weave in?
Yeah, I've already been weaving them.
Oh,
in.
you're being
Started.
Yes, it is, she
I
goes.
started because I knew it was going to be a hassle. So, but that's
I will
pretty
not be
much,
making that one either.
pretty much all I have on my needles right now. Getting ready to do some more socks.
Only 2 things on your needles?
Well,
I'm so proud of
that's
you.
not exactly true, but that's what I brought today.
Okay, we're gonna get into the stash.
Oh, we're done.
Enhancement.
I think we forgot that. Go ahead, show your finished
You're
objects.
the only one who finished FOs.
You're the
Oh.
only one that's so good. You
Okay.
have finished objects.
And I did bring
Oh,
the
I do have
information.
2 finished objects.
See?
Yay!
See? Encouragement. So these are the Luric socks from Amelia Tree. It was a pattern that was from the magnificent book of 52 Weeks of Socks that Melissa and I became obsessed with, and we
Love
hunted
it.
that book down. It was kind of a funny story. But anyway, yeah, I started them, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago.
Oh, it's hazelnut yarn.
And it's hazelnut yarn in their quill
Yeah.
colorway, which is a really, really pretty charcoaly. It's got a little
It's
bit of
very
blue
nice.
in it.
Very
A
nice.
little bit of blue in it. So happy to have those done. They're a little bit short. I like my socks a little bit longer in the in the leg part, but I usually always do an afterthought heel, but I told myself no, I was going to knit these socks from this book to the pattern, so I did. And I really like the socks. They're beautiful on the way the cables go. I just typically prefer a little bit of a longer sock. but
Like, the yarn
kinda
has
big.
such like gorgeous depth.
Yeah, the stitch definition is fabulous. So that, and then I
This
brought
next sweater is gorgeous.
another ranunculus that I did. Sorry.
This one's gorgeous too, but wait till you get to the purple one.
This is my first ranunculus that I did out of another linen. It's just a light gray color, and I wear the heck out of it.
Is this one discontinued also?
No, that one's not. I can't remember what the yarn was. I got the yarn at the Sated. No, at Ply. I got it at Ply actually, in Wimberley. So.
Wow, that was a ply. I was thinking the other one.
Yeah, no. And then these are just things I finished within the last couple months. This is my Elton sweater that is done in Sweet Sparrow yarn,
That
and
feels
it was
amazing.
her sock and then her mohair. And I think the color was called like Royal Velvet or something like that. It's a really pretty deep purple
That's
lumber
gorgeous.
color. And
Super
yeah,
beautiful.
and then the other finished object I brought was my sorrel sweater, which
my
so when
gosh.
COVID hit,
I haven't seen this one.
a lot of people wanted like mindless knitting. I could not do mindless for some reason.
You needed
I
that.
needed mental
Stimulation?
I needed my brain to be completely occupied with something, so I started knitting this, and it
is
did the trick
gorgeous.
for me.
It is
So I don't
gorgeous.
remember all the yarns that are in here. It's all on my Ravelry page, which we can link all that. I do know that the mohair was Suburban Stitcher in her Cosmopolitan colorway, which is absolutely delightful. So, and I'll probably wear this maybe 2 days out of the year in Texas, but hey, I loved it.
2 days. Oh look how good it looks on me.
Yes.
That's perfect. Can you pick a
Oh,
bobblehead?
it's in my bag over here.
But this was really a fun knit. I loved it. So
Very nice.
that's all I got.
That's all.
I have a couple of finished objects that that I need to fix. They're super cute. They're called Get It Girl bra top. They're like a little bra thing. I made myself one that I just wear around the house as pajamas. But these are actually for Darlene's granddaughters.
Oh,
But
Aw.
we made the straps too big, so the granddaughters have tried it on and the straps are too big. So I'm just gonna need to like give it a cut. They've remeasured it for me, so like that's how much of I-cord I didn't need.
Mm.
So I'm gonna, redo them, take out the I-cord and the connection, and then shorten
cute.
it for about 5 or 6
Are they
inches.
made out of cotton?
It is. It's
Yeah,
a Barocco modern cotton.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
I like the colors too.
So they're finished, but they're not finished because I've got to fix them, but still finished.
We'll call them finished.
Good.
Yeah.
There we go. Close enough. I have nothing.
Oh, you're a sloth.
If it makes you feel better, I have no stash enhancements. So you guys get to talk
Oh,
I
about
do
the
have-
stash. and I got
Oh,
none of
yes.
that.
You
I
do
have a
have
sewing
some things
project.
that
It's
keep
not
you busy.
finished. So my mom and I did this.
Very
It's
close
called
to
the
baby.
Poppins bag. This was kind of an intense project. So
Fabulous.
it has so much stuff in it. Like it has tubing in it, like plumbing tubing in it. So I used a panel.
It's beautiful.
I have to hand sew the bottom, and I'm not happy about doing that. So it's been sitting. So we did
And
a
why does it
quilt crawl.
have to be hand sewn on the
Because
bottom?
there's so many layers
Because
in
of the
this
layers,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, and
I
it
knew
has
there was a reason.
stays in it, so
Okay.
it's yeah, that's my life. It's like gonna be the most epic knitting bag.
It really is.
If I ever get it.
And that was a kit?
No, we bought we bought the pattern. I'm not sure which quilt shop we bought it at. And then it came with the stays that are in here that give it the shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then I bought this panel at, I believe, Quilt House, which is in New Braunfels, and then this purple fabric I got in sale at, what is it called, Fabrictopia, which is kind of in a little scary area, but it's totally worth going to.
Where's that?
San Antonio? Or?
Yeah, it's in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's like a big warehouse full of fabric.
Nice.
That was good. I spent
Don't we always?
But you'll get a ton of use out of it.
Oh
too.
yeah,
It's a
I'm
great
just worried.
size.
And then we put little pieces on the bottom of it.
And if you don't, we will. Offering that up.
This will fit your
Take her
Fill
up on
a
that one.
mustache.
So, we did not follow the pattern at all. We totally botched it, but it still looks like the pattern.
It looks great.
You're supposed to sew these two in separate pieces, and I have this panel, so I didn't want to break it up. And
Yeah, no, you did a great
so
job.
we
You really
made
did.
it work.
Placement.
So yeah.
Amazing.
So eventually that will be finished. So okay, we are now on the stash. What do you ladies?
Stash, I have stash.
Elizabeth has the most amazing stash ever. You guys just get ready to drool,
So-
go get a tissue, something.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So
She's
because of
celebrating
COVID,
Christmas.
I've really been trying to support local dyers and my local yarn shops. And I live closer to Austin now. I moved last year. But I'm on reduced work hours, 32 hours a week. So it's been a little bit challenging with money, trying to not as much spending money as I'd like, but whatever. Anyway, so I got some, I've been wanting to try this yarn for a while. It's pulsed yarn, and it's 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton. And I got it at the Sated Sheep in Dripping Springs, Texas, which is very close to my house. And
This
so I
is
got-
why they want me in the podcast.
Yes, the long
Because
arms.
I have the longest arms.
I got
I
3
kind of
colors.
feel like I just get to sit back and watch you guys like pull stuff.
I got a light gray, a darker gray, and then a soft pink, which is totally my jam.
Yes, that says Elizabeth right there.
And then I also bought this mohair, which I just fell in love with, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just loved it. It's by Knitting for Olive, and it's a gray, but it has the thread, the silk thread in it. Almost has a tinge of green. To
I was
it,
just
right?
about to
Like
say, it
a
looks
Wow.
olivey.
yeah, a little bit of olivey,
looks-
and I just
yeah.
I got a couple skeins of it. I just fell in love with it.
The mohair is so popular
I
now.
love mohair. Oh, so
What
funny
is this?
story. The first sweater I ever knit in my life was a twin set that my friend Phyllis, who is one of the reasons that I really started seriously knitting, and I'm from Michigan originally, I don't know if I said that, but anyway, my friend Phyllis got me into knitting in Michigan, and she's like, oh yeah, you can knit a sweater, no problem. So we went and picked out yarn, mohair. I did a twin set in mohair that was cables from a Vogue knitting book or something.
Wow, challenge
And I did
accepted.
Does Phyllis like you or?
She loves me.
I'm teasing.
But yeah, funny story. Now when I look at it, I'm like, what the hell was that? Oh, sorry, I cursed, sorry. Okay. Anyway, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? But yeah, it happens.
Especially with living
I
here.
still have it, and it just, I don't wear it very often. I don't even know if it would fit anymore, but it's just for posterity purposes. I kept
Of course, of
Mhm.
course.
So,
Mine was like fun fur.
fun for
It was a cropped fun fur with a
Oh
turtleneck.
gosh,
I've
that's hard to knit with, that
Yeah.
fun fur.
Yeah, I've made a ton of those scarves, you know,
Yeah.
they're just like
But
cast
it's
on
not easy to
7.
knit with.
Yeah, no, but you're on like
Just
size
you make a
11s
mistake
or
or
something.
something, yeah.
My first project was homespun.
Oh.
And then I like was so proud. I'm like, yes. And then all of a sudden it was like, and then I was like, I made it to this game, and I'm like, Trevor, who's my husband, I'm like, what do you think? He's like, what is it? I was so sad. And then I ripped it apart and I redid it, and I figured out why it was going out. Like, I started with 25 and it like was 80. So.
Let's see, what else
Oh
do I
my
got?
God, these
So
are so
this
gorgeous
I
over here.
ordered from Diane at Suburban Stitcher, and this is her new color called Boardwalk and
Look
Beach
at that.
Grass.
You can keep knitting.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I also got a couple
Does
minis
it
to
smell
accent
good? Let me
in
smell it.
spearmint
Oh,
and
she has to
sherbet.
smell it.
Yeah, pretty good.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I have a sweaters quantity that I could do something with. I'm just not sure what. But it'll just be in my stash for a bit.
Needs to marinate. Just so it
Marinate,
needs
yes.
to
And
be
then
wet
this
for
is
a
also from, I think, the Sated Sheep. It's Tributary Yarns
while.
in the Rainbow Trout colorway. And I just
That's
fell in love
pretty.
with all the speckles. That was beautiful. That's a sock weight. Sorry, I guess I should be saying it. We use a lot of sock weight here in Texas.
Yeah, we kind of do.
And then in July, I had to get my Christmas on for Christmas in July. I'm a big Christmas person. So
I think she has like 78 Christmas trees in her house.
they always make me have the Christmas party at my house.
Yes.
But I got the knitted wit and fingering, the gingerbread person, and sassy Santa. So I'm gonna make socks out of those Christmas socks.
Oh, those are gonna be fun.
Yeah,
It would
really
be
fun.
fun to
Yeah, I
see
love
how
these
they're knit up.
colors.
Like if it pulls or not.
Yeah,
It'd be
I don't
really
know.
cool.
It'd be interesting. And I recently ordered a sock machine, circular sock machine, a Earl Fokker Gearhart sock machine. I'm
So she's gonna
waiting
be
for that. So I'm
cranking.
stocking up on my
Mhm.
socks. So.
I like it when you crank them because it makes like it's at such a tight gauge
Yeah.
that it keeps it all from kind of really pooling if you don't like the pooling effect.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But it's hard to like snip it and get
Yeah.
your needles back through it, but it's neat.
I'm sure you'll hear more about that later
Mhm.
once I get my machine. It probably will be another 2 or 3 weeks before I get that. But, and then yesterday,
These are
I'm in outside sales. I should say that too. I'm in outside technical sales. So I'm on the road all the time, and in between clients right now, it's hard sometimes to get in places because of COVID. So I often have some free time, and I have to, can't sit in the car because it's 100 degrees out. So
So she has to go into a yarn shop.
Yes.
to the yarn shop.
You know, use the facilities, go to the bathroom real quick, pick up 7 skeins of yarn.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's real. I feel your pain a
They
little
got my
bit.
game. Sorry.
We know her. We know her.
Anyway, I fell in love with this Mantosh that they had just gotten in at the Knitting Cup
They are
in
gorgeous.
Georgetown.
Oh my gosh.
And
it's
Whiskey
so
Barrel,
your
which is
colors.
a great color. And then I love this Dirty Panther, it's a really dark charcoal. And this one is Star Scatter. So,
Those are your colors.
I don't know if you can read that properly. I mean, I think it's gonna come out okay.
so again, don't know what it'll be, but
It's
something
gonna be a-
pretty
A
eventually.
whole lot of awesome.
So that's all I brought. I have more at home, but
Oh, I am in Savvy Skeins Yarn Club. So
another great dyer.
Yes.
We have some great Texas
We
dyers.
do.
We do.
Really
So
do.
she's like it's like themed after old movies that you grew up watching.
Nice.
So like one was Princess Bride. All these.
It was a monthly?
Yeah, it's a monthly club. It's running the whole year. So this, when I was at her house, I kind of stole my club shipment early. Like it doesn't even have a label. It's some Star Wars. I'm not even sure what the name is because I stole it. But who could blame me? It's
That's
good stuff.
beautiful.
So it smells good too. So,
She
so
has
I'm
a
excited.
really cute Advent.
Yes.
Pre-orders up right now,
Mhm.
right? It's an ornament.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
with mini skeins.
You get
Oh,
12 mini skeins and a full skein, and
I
then
gotta.
she
I'm
sends you.
gonna have to get that. It's so cute.
Well, I have the mini.
Oh yeah.
She's caking up the
I
minutes.
am. So it's. I think you get 12 minis and a full skein of that. But yeah, the patterns are cute. And every Christmas we do an ornament exchange with our knitting
Yes,
group, and
that's
it's a lot of
fun.
fun. It gets
Lot
a
of
little
fun.
vicious sometimes.
It does.
but-
People steal.
Because it's, yeah, you get to go in and steal.
Yeah.
It's pretty cutthroat.
Although none of the ornaments are bad, so
No, they're not.
they're all gorgeous.
They are.
No. So,
Anyway,
so I don't know. There's this one designer. I don't know if anybody knows her. She's an Argentine designer. What was her name? Hohi Locatelli.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So right now she's gonna rev up her fall knit-along. So we're all pretty excited.
We are.
Yes,
We are.
very.
So, I think you guys said you can
I think you sign up for the groups
tomorrow.
starting tomorrow,
Mhm.
and maybe for a week or two, and then I think the official start of the KALs
September 1 maybe.
Yeah. So I'm actually starting 2 things in September. I'm gonna try to do this holy cal, and then a sewing one. So I do a little bit of quilting and sewing, and then I signed up to do this journey, this nebula quilt, and it's huge. It's like this gorgeous bright tulip pink big star, and so she's having a startup to it, so you can learn the techniques, and then she has like, I just ordered a ruler, but this is
Wow.
using the hexamer ruler and stuff, so I'm excited. So I think our first project is a table runner, so we'll see. I'll be knitting and sewing.
Knitting and sewing.
So, but I'm gonna do for the Hohi Cal, I'm gonna do the Elton.
Which is the sweater
The
that
Mhm.
purple one I had, yeah.
the one
Yeah.
that Elizabeth just showed finished.
The mohair and
Yeah.
fingering.
So I don't know if you know this dyer, but I'm using
Elizabeth's already mentioned her.
Suburban Stitcher yarn in the this is called antique colorway, and I think we fought over this at Hunter
That
Weavers.
is so beautiful.
But this will be mine. I think it will be pretty classic. So I'm excited
What
to
color
start
buttons
that.
are you going to put on
I
there?
don't know. Did we talk about pearl buttons or
Oh,
something?
that would be beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'd love to get my weekender done first.
Oh, you're almost done with the
You
weekend.
are almost
So,
done.
so
And we don't cast on for like 2 weeks.
yeah.
2.5
So
weeks.
hopefully I'll
you're
get
good.
my weekender done and then I can cast this on. I'm super excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the staple linen top. I just have the pattern printed out. I have some linen at home that I got from, I actually think I got it from Lithuania. I got it years ago. I don't do a whole lot of stash enhancements anymore because I have so much yarn that I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it. But I do have some black and gray, green and pink, I think, or rust color. So I'm not sure what color I'm gonna do yet. For the Hoagie Fall Cal, I'm gonna do this.
That's a really cute.
I've just been wanting a linen top for a while, and I know Darlene has too, so I'm gonna try and rope her into either doing it. She's not a big fan of sleeveless,
Well, okay, I love sleeveless, but I'm not comfortable wearing sleeveless, and I can't really wear sleeveless for work. So I was thinking of doing this as well,
And
but
adding-
just adding a little cat sleeve to it.
yeah.
So maybe
You're
Darlene
that,
will do
Darlene,
that.
you'll just do the hat sleeve with Elizabeth.
Yeah. And I got some linen yesterday too. From that. I might do that too. So I might be joining you in
Oh,
that.
that's fine. Join me. Join me on this.
And what are you gonna do for the cal?
So I'll probably do that, and then I have caked up yarn, I think last year for the Cal, and never even knit a stitch on it, never cast on, for the hipster cowl.
Oh, yeah,
I've already done the shawl, and I enjoyed that, I did that in a red, and the cowl I did is like a mustard color, which is not really a great color on me, but I love it, so
Mhm.
if I mix it with something when I wear it, it'll probably be okay.
I don't think she looks cute in anything at all.
What yellow is that? I went to yarn crawl to one shop, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, that was a lady in the store," and she said to me, "Oh yeah, that is definitely not your color." And I was wearing it. I'm like, and this is definitely not your sale. But oh well, happens.
Yeah, it does. It happens to the best of us.
So anyway,
I think is that all we have?
that's
Did
it.
we follow our agenda for
I
our
think
first
so.
for our first ever podcast?
I believe we did.
Well, everybody, thank you for checking us out. I know it's
Yeah,
not
appreciate it.
it's not super long, but you know, we
Yeah.
enjoy doing it. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll do it again.
If there are things that you want to see, please comment and let us know. But our goal probably is to try to keep them under an hour, maybe like 30 to 45 minutes, just
Mhm.
because I
which
think
is
that's a
which is about what we're running at
yeah,
right now.
Mhm.
reasonable time. And
And
we'll
when
probably do from different locations occasionally.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll go to Elizabeth's house, my house.
Yeah,
Melissa's
we're at my
house.
house now.
Mhm. Yeah, so different background. but-
Yeah.
One of my friends painted that little
Yes.
picture back
Isn't
there.
that
So
so
cute.
cute?
He is really cool. He doesn't have a name yet, so if you guys have a name.
You should link her website too.
Yeah.
She has some really
She
beautiful
does.
artwork.
She's super talented. She was actually my maid of honor.
And does she live in Minnesota?
She does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very
Super,
nice.
super talented person. So.
Cool.
And then my cricket stuff. Yeah.
Sitting
So I
on her.
dabble in that too. I'm like all over the
She's
place.
the craft queen.
She
I
is.
I
She's
have
got like
spinning wheel,
machines in
like,
front of
everything.
us and all sorts of
It's
stuff.
too much. I have too much.
She's very crafty.
Very crafty.
I have to make all the things.